My beloved child, I speak these words in a sacred moment, a moment when the old door is closing and a new one is about to open before you. There is a silent yet powerful movement taking place behind the invisible curtain of your life. My angels are on the move, divine orders have been issued from heaven, and everything is being aligned to lead you out of the old place into the land I have chosen for you. You did not stumble upon these words by chance, nor is this a fleeting dream. This is a destined hour, the intersection of heaven and earth that will forever alter the course of your journey. Can you feel it? The irregular heartbeat, the restless stirring within as though something is calling you to step beyond the familiar. That is not anxiety of the flesh, but the cry of your spirit longing for something greater. You are hearing heaven's call, the whisper that only the awakened can discern. It is neither loud nor forceful, yet powerful enough to shake the depths of your heart. It is I who am stirring that holy restlessness within you, for I know that if you remain too long where you are, the seed I placed in you will never fully blossom. You may think you are merely going through a confusing phase, but in truth, this is a divine transition. I am rearranging everything around you, relationships, work, emotions, even your dreams, to prepare the way for a new chapter in your journey. Your angels have already seen the place ahead. They have stood upon that new ground where light and peace intertwine, where your soul will expand and your vision will rise higher. And now you too shall see it. But before your eyes behold it, your faith must first embrace it. Sometimes a change of season does not come with thunder, but with emptiness. You may feel your peace slipping away, being pulled out of what was once familiar, but, my child, that is the sign that I am moving. Just as the wind stirs before the rain, the trembling you feel is my breath clearing the way for what is new. Do not be afraid when the old door closes, for it does not close to imprison you, but to protect you from what no longer serves you. I have seen what you cannot see, and I know where your soul will find rest. Hear this word from the one who never fails. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, and not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 2:9-11. But before you step into that future, you must be willing to leave the past behind. Sometimes what I ask you to leave is not a place, but a state of being, a place where you have grown too accustomed to fear limitation and the old self that insists on its own way. Do not cling to what I am removing. What I am preparing for you is more beautiful, greater, and more secure. I am not only changing your position, I am transforming your nature. I am leading you from dependence to trust, from praying in fear to praying in authority. I do not merely want you to survive. I want you to live abundantly, to dwell in the flow of my will, where everything you need has already been set in place. And my child, I know this process is not easy. Leaving the familiar often comes with tears, for humans tend to love even the things that once hurt them simply because they are known. But I promise you, if you dare to let go, I will place into your hands something far better. If you dare to step away, I will show you the land where blessings await. No act of obedience is ever wasted. No step of faith is ever meaningless. Each time you choose to believe, even just a little, heaven moves on your behalf. I have sent my messenger to deliver this word to you, not to trouble you, but to prepare you. Purify your heart, open your mind, for you are about to witness what many have prayed for all their lives but never seen. What was once unclear will soon make sense. What was once distant will soon become real. The door I open, no one can shut, and the door I close, no one can open. You are not losing, you are being led. You are not abandoned, you are being transferred. This is not the end. It is the beginning of a new journey. Breathe deeply, my child, and sense the shift in the atmosphere. It is the breath of heaven touching you. Even now, everything is being arranged for you to step into the next season of glory. Do not look back. Do not fear. Step forward, for I am waiting for you in that new place with open arms and a light that will never fade, my beloved child. Be still in this moment, for I am about to lift the veil that has covered your future. In the moments ahead, you will see the place heaven has prepared, not a random land, but the home your soul belongs to. There you will find the peace you have longed for, not the kind that comes when everything is perfect, but the kind that flows when you stand in the very position I have ordained for you. In that place, your blessings will no longer be hindered. and the purpose I planted in your heart since the foundation of the world will awaken. Every part of you, your dreams, passions, gifts, and even old wounds will begin to harmonize into a new melody, the song of life in my will. But before I bring you there, listen carefully. There is a force trying to hold you back, to bind your soul with invisible chains. The enemy cannot stop my plan, so it seeks to make you doubt yourself. It whispers into your mind, "You are not worthy. You will never change. You were born only to endure." It wants you to believe that all your efforts lead to failure, that the new door is an illusion, that you should settle for a small, ordinary life. But I say to you, those are lies. You were not born to remain trapped in fear or regret. You were not created to keep staring at the past. You were made to move forward, to open the door to a new season. Everything within you is shifting, your soul, your mind, even the circumstances around you, because I am stirring them. You think the unease inside you is a sign of chaos, but in truth it is the signal of transition. Just as a seed must crack before it sprouts, that breaking is not an ending but the beginning of new life. And you, my beloved, are in that very process. The enemy wants you to fear the breaking, but I want you to see that the breaking is me making a way. I am tearing down the walls you built around yourself. I am dismantling the false beliefs you have carried too long, that you are not good enough, strong enough, or holy enough. You do not realize it, but each time you whisper, "Lord, I can't," I softly respond, "You can, because I am with you." Tonight I have sent my angel to draw near to you, not to frighten, but to lift you up. That angel carries light, passing through the thick clouds of fear, to whisper into your heart a divine decree. You will shift. These are not empty words, but a command from heaven. When heaven declares shift, the universe must rearrange itself to fulfill it. Closed doors will swing open. Walls you once crashed into will begin to crack. And the very things that once hurt you will become the platform that lifts you higher. My child, I know you are tired. I know there are nights when you stare at the ceiling and wonder, will there ever be another day for me? But I tell you, that day is coming. In fact, it has already begun. Everything is moving, even if you cannot yet see it. Just as the sun still rises, though dawn hides behind mist, your transformation is unfolding quietly. I am rearranging the pieces of your life. The people you meet, the events you go through, even the losses that once seemed meaningless, all of them are being rewoven in my hands to form a masterpiece of divine perfection. Do not let fear hold you back any longer. Do not allow the negative words of others to make you hesitate, for you do not need their approval to step into what I have ordained. You only need to obey. I do not need you to understand everything. I only need you to trust that I know where I am leading you. When Abraham left Haran, he did not know his destination, but he knew the one who called him. And it was that very faith that made him the father of many nations. I am calling you in the same way, not to seek certainty, but to seek me in the journey itself. Prepare yourself, my child. Everything is shifting. Doors that were once closed will open. Dreams that were buried will be revived. Things that seemed dead will live again. For when I said you will be transformed, I was not only speaking of external movement, but of spiritual renewal. You will begin to see the world differently. You will love more deeply, believe more fiercely, and walk with an authority you have never known before. Know this, my beloved one, the place I am leading you to is not merely a destination, it is a destiny. There you will no longer strive to be recognized, for I will position you where you are seen through my light. There you will no longer run from your past, for your past will become a testimony of my restoring power. There you will no longer ask, "Who am I?" for you will know that you are a child of the Almighty. My beloved child, the visible world around you is beginning to shift, but do not look outward before you look inward. Every great transformation begins in the spirit. Before the sun rises, there must first be a dawning within the soul. Before external doors open, the heart must open first. I am stirring the inner world within you, for no rebirth can occur while your inner being remains asleep. The trembling you feel, the restlessness, the vague longing, the sense of displacement in what once felt familiar is not confusion, but a sign that heaven is intervening. You are stepping into a profound metamorphosis. Though you may not see it with your eyes, your soul is being moved to a higher frequency. I am unfolding before you a path that no one else can perceive, except those awakened by the Spirit. This is the hour when I separate you from the old, from habits, relationships, occupations, and thought patterns that once confined you within narrow boundaries. You no longer belong to those things, for you are no longer who you once were. The changes you sense are not random. They are the call of heaven, the whisper that your divine assignment is drawing near. Your guardian angel, the one who has watched over every step you've taken and counted every tear you've shed, is moving powerfully in this moment. He does not come to frighten you, but to lead you out of the fog. Long before you knew how to pray, he stood beside you. When you wandered astray, he shielded you. When you thought you were utterly alone, he whispered, "Do not be afraid, for you have never been abandoned." And now he is shaking your spirit awake, for your appointed time has come. Have you noticed lately that something no longer feels quite right? The places that once brought you comfort now seem too small. The relationships that once filled you with joy now feel distant. Even the old dreams that once inspired you have lost their spark. You sense as though you're living a life that no longer fits your soul. My child, this is not confusion. It is the sign that I am calling you out of the old land. I am stirring your spirit so that you will no longer sleep in what has expired. You feel uneasy not because something bad is happening, but because heaven is unveiling something new. Your soul recognizes it even when your mind cannot yet comprehend it. I am awakening you just as I stirred Moses in the wilderness, as I called Samuel in the stillness of the night, as I led Abraham out of his homeland toward the promised land. Everyone I have chosen must walk through this phase, the season of departure, of unanswered questions, of longing without clear direction. But I say to you now, this is the sign that you are being called higher. Your angel is trying to speak to you not through the language of the natural, but through signals from the unseen realm. Sometimes it's a dream that leaves you restless. Sometimes it's a scripture that appears at just the right moment. Other times it's a divine coincidence that causes you to pause and reflect. These are not accidents, my child. They are sacred signals sent to let you know that heaven is communicating. But if your mind is too loud, you will not hear. Be still, be silent, and listen. You must understand that divine intervention always begins in stillness. I do not arrive in thunder, but in a gentle whisper. I do not speak through noise, but through deep peace. When you slow down, when you stop to listen, you will sense your angel closer than ever before. You may not see with your eyes, but your soul will recognize that presence as a warm wind brushing against your heart. He is handing you the new map of your journey, showing you the path leading you to the place I have prepared. But my child, do not resist this feeling. Do not cling to what I am removing. When you resist, you suffer. When you surrender, you are set free. Just as the grain of wheat must die to bear fruit, you too must be willing to let go of the old so the new may arise. I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to live rightly. Not simply to exist, but to live in the fullness of my will. This is the moment when you must choose. Will you stay within what is safe, or will you follow the call of heaven? For when I intervene, I do not only change your direction, I reshape your destiny. You will see the world with new eyes. You will hear my voice in the smallest things. You will feel the power of heaven moving through you. Let your heart open, for heaven is seeking to speak with you. Do not look for loud miracles. Pay attention to the quiet moments when a tear falls, when a prayer is answered in secret, when peace suddenly floods your soul amid the storm. That is me coming, speaking, touching you. My beloved, do not fear change. For every time I change something, it is to bring you closer to what I have promised. Divine intervention never destroys, it restores. Your angel has not come to announce an ending, but to proclaim a beginning. And now the heavens lean toward you. The windows of eternity are opening. Step forward in faith. Lift your eyes, for I, the one who called you out of darkness into light, am ready to lead you upon a new path. My beloved child, the unseen world is stirring all around you. Things that your eyes cannot perceive are more alive than ever. Every breeze you feel, every coincidence you encounter, every subtle stirring within your heart, all are signals from heaven. The skies are echoing with a call. Be alert, be ready, for something great is coming. I am preparing to lead you out of the narrow space where you have lingered too long, the place that can no longer contain the vision, the blessing, and the mission I have placed within you. You no longer belong to the old land. My child, for the next chapter of your journey requires new strength and deeper faith. Know this at this very moment. As you read these words, the heavenly realm is moving around you. My angels, those who serve in light, surround you like an invisible army. They are clearing the path, breaking the barriers that have confined your soul, loosening the knots you could never untie on your own. Every breath you take is covered by heaven's providence. What appears to be coincidence is in truth my divine orchestration, precise, intentional, and filled with power. You are not abandoned amid life's uncertainty. You are being guided with the exactness of an eternal plan. My child, there are things you cannot yet see, but they are unfolding, a reordering, a sacred movement within the spirit realm. Your angel is quietly at work, moving through layers of reality, laying the foundation for what is to come. When you pray, your angel carries your petitions before my throne. When you weep, he gathers every tear and turns them into a testimony of faith. When you think no one hears, that is the very moment heaven leans close to listen. I know there are times when you feel as though nothing is changing, as if you are standing still. But remember this, my child, before spring bursts forth, the seed must rest unseen beneath the earth. The stillness you sense is not a sign of delay, but a stage of preparation before the breakthrough. The angels are moving every brick, every detail, so that you may be brought into the dwelling place I have chosen for you. It is not merely a physical place. It is a new state of being where your soul will know me more deeply, walk in greater grace, and live in the fullness of the power I have given you. Yet for this to come to pass, you must learn to recognize and respond. The movements of heaven are not always loud. Sometimes they are a whisper, a gentle nudge, a quiet reminder. You must listen deeply, not with your ears, but with your spirit. You must discern what is my voice and what is the echo of fear. For the enemy will attempt to intrude, to sow doubt, to make you believe it is all an illusion. But remember, confusion never comes from me. My voice always carries peace, even when it calls you to change. Therefore, draw nearer to me. Spend time in stillness, in prayer, in my word, so that you may hear heaven's voice more clearly. When you are close to me, you will not only hear but also feel the rhythm of my heart within your own breath. And there, in that sacred harmony between your soul and heaven, you will begin to understand what I am doing. You will see why the old things had to fall, why certain people had to leave, why one door had to close so another could open. I have written the next chapter of your life long before your first cry. Every step has already been inscribed in the spirit realm, waiting for the appointed time to be revealed on earth. Now that moment is drawing near. What was predestined is about to awaken. When my timing meets my will, everything will align and you will see that nothing was ever wasted. Every loss, every delay, every night of darkness has been a piece of the perfect plan I have woven for you. My beloved child, do not be afraid of change. It is not a sign of an ending, but an invitation to step into something deeper. When the old world crumbles, a new one is being formed. When what you once knew is taken away, it is because I am giving you something better. When you feel lost and disoriented, it is because I am turning your compass toward the right direction. And when everything around you seems to tremble, stand firm, for it is I who am shaking the foundations not to destroy but to rebuild them stronger than before. Open your heart, my child, for this new chapter will not resemble the old. It will not be written in the ink of fear but in the ink of faith. It will no longer be a journey of searching for me but a journey of walking with me. You will no longer go alone, for I will go with you, and my angels will go before you, preparing every step. This change is not a distant promise. It is beginning now in this very moment, as you believe, as you listen, and as you are willing. And when all is revealed on earth, you will see that everything had already been written in the Spirit long ago. Nothing is accidental. No step is meaningless. I have seen this day, and I have chosen you to live in it. The world around you will change, but do not fear, for I am the Lord of every season, the one who commands both the wind and the sun, the one who has engraved your name in my eternal design. My beloved, where you are today is not your final stop. It is merely a resting place on the divine journey prepared for your soul. I know there are times you look around and see yourself surrounded by familiar things, your home, your work, the people you meet every day, yet there lingers a quiet emptiness in your heart, as though something deep within you is calling toward another place one you have never seen yet somehow belong to. You can no longer find comfort in the spaces you once called home. The light in that room seems to have changed its hue, and the air that was once warm now feels heavy. You may not understand why, but I do. Because, my child, this is not just emotion, it is the movement of heaven. You are in the midst of a spiritual relocation. As I prepare to usher you into a new season, I will make the old places no longer comfortable. Sometimes I withdraw peace from where you were, so that you will not cling to it. Sometimes I allow unease to arise not to frighten you, but to awaken you from complacency. What once sustained you has become too small for your spirit, has outgrown its old frame. Like a young bird, there comes a day when the nest is no longer a shelter but a restraint. I did not create you to sit safely still, I created you to soar. The unfamiliar stirring within you is the voice of the Spirit, a prophetic call from the higher realm. It is the whisper saying, "It is time to step out." Step out of what is familiar, step out of the old limitations, step out of the fears that have held you captive for so long. Not because the old place was bad, but because I have finished using it to teach you what you needed to learn. Now that season is complete, and I am preparing to open a new chapter of your life. In these recent days you have learned much through tears, through long nights of prayer, through the silent hours when you thought I was quiet. But my child, know this, I was never silent. In every tear you shed, I was listening. In every sigh you breathed, I was attentive. Every battle you fought was not in vain. They were classrooms of faith where you learned to stand when there was nothing left to hold but me. The scars you carry are the proof of your growth in the Spirit. And now I say to you, the season of training has come to an end. I have seen your faithfulness in the midst of trials. I have watched you pray when all hope seemed gone, love when you were misunderstood, and trust even when everything around you was falling apart. Because of this, you are now ready for something new. Do not cling to the land that once sustained you, for it is no longer the place where my blessing rests. Remember, when I led Israel out of Egypt, I did not allow them to return, even though that land once had meat, bread, and shelter. For I knew that if they stayed, they would never taste the sweetness of the promised land. Likewise, my child, I do not want you to merely survive on what once was. I want you to step into what I have promised. I know leaving the familiar is never easy. There will be nights when you question, did I really hear your voice, Lord? You will miss the comfort of what you once knew, even the things that caused you pain. But remember, faith never walks hand in hand with certainty. It walks with obedience. Faith does not demand to understand. It simply believes that I know where you are going. Every step you take forward is a declaration, I trust God more than my feelings. And when you make that declaration, heaven responds with power. You cannot step into the new while still gripping the old. You cannot receive greater blessings when your hands are full of things I have asked you to release. That is why I will shake you. I will let discomfort arise when you settle. I will allow doors to close, not to punish you, but to protect you. Every time a door shuts, remember this, I am guiding you toward another one larger, brighter, and filled with my glory. My child, where you are now is only a training ground. It is like Moses' wilderness, the place where I taught him to hear my voice, trust my hand, and walk beneath my shadow. But Moses did not remain there forever. He was called to lead others out. Likewise, you are being sent forth. I did not train you to stay still, but to fulfill your calling. You are called to be a bearer of light, one who stands firm in the storm with peace, one who declares to the world, there is a God who still moves. And you will see as you begin to walk forward, what once felt unclear will start to make sense. I will connect you with new people, those who share your mission and carry the same heavenly frequency. I will open doors you never imagined. My guidance will become clearer than ever, for when you leave the old in obedience, you step directly into the territory of miracles. My beloved child, your soul has already begun to move gently, quietly, yet powerfully. Though your feet may appear still, your inner world has begun to tremble. The currents of heaven are flowing through you, drawing you out of what was, and leading you toward the place I have ordained. You may not yet see it with your eyes, but your spirit has heard the call and felt the pulse of eternity shifting. That stirring within you may feel faint at first, but it is growing stronger with each passing day. You are stepping into a new chapter of destiny. The clearest sign of spiritual movement is not noise, but the sense of an ending. A part of you already knows this chapter is closing. Though everything around you looks the same roads, familiar faces, daily routines, something in the air has changed. A strange stillness lingers. A sacred silence hovers where joy once resounded. No one has said goodbye, yet your soul knows your time here is drawing to an end. I know you sense it the moment you step into your familiar room, glance around, and suddenly everything feels foreign. The objects that once carried meaning now seem like relics of a season long gone. The walls still stand, but they no longer echo your warmth. The old chair remains in the corner, yet it no longer feels like a place you wish to rest. You may not fully understand why, but deep within your soul you know it. This place no longer belongs to you. This is not boredom, nor a fleeting shift of emotion. It is the separation of the spirit. When I prepare to lead you into something new, I begin by gently detaching your soul from the ground of the old, not through abrupt disruption, but through a quiet withdrawal. I allow you to feel an emptiness, not to grieve you, but to awaken your longing for what is next. You begin to notice that what once delighted you no longer satisfies. What once thrilled you now feels too small. This is not because you have lost something, but because you have outgrown it. Understand this: such detachment is a sign of spiritual maturity. When a child grows, it cannot remain in the cradle. Likewise, when your soul expands, the old spaces can no longer contain the new light being sown within you. Therefore, I allow the familiar to become confining, not to make you suffer, but to show you that it is time to move forward. Everything in the universe flows by cycles, and your former season has reached its completion. There is no shame in feeling estranged from what was once home, for your true home is not a place, but my purpose for you. Do not try to rationalize this feeling. It does not come from reason, but from your spirit. Your soul is hearing a whisper from heaven, a call carried on the wind. It is time to go. You may not know where you are going, but you know with certainty that you cannot stay. And right there at the delicate threshold between what is fading and what is forming, I will meet you. My beloved, do not fear this emptiness. Do not be alarmed when everything around you seems drained of color. This is the stillness before the next symphony begins. This is the moment heaven holds its breath, preparing for the birth of a new season in your life. If you can wait, if you can remain open instead of anxious, you will hear the sound of angelic wings moving around you. They are already at work, clearing the path where your soul and your destiny will meet at the intersection of heaven's will. My beloved child, have you ever wondered why, whenever you try to step into something new, something seems to pull you back? It feels as though an unseen hand tightens its grip, keeping you from moving forward, even when you are ready. You feel a yearning to change, to break free, but then fear, doubt, and unexpected obstacles rush in, holding you captive. You think it is coincidence, but I tell you it is not. This is a spiritual battle. There are invisible chains, subtle yet strong, binding your soul. They do not clang like iron shackles, yet they restrain more powerfully than anything visible. They may be the fear of being hurt, the shame of past failure, the false belief that you are not good enough to be loved or not strong enough to rise again. They may be cruel words once spoken over you, curses, judgments, wounds that were never healed. These have become spiritual chains that cling to your mind, preventing you from seeing yourself in my true light, my beloved child. There are things that do not merely belong to the present. Some chains began generations ago, ancient covenants, mistakes, and negative declarations spoken repeatedly within a bloodline that your soul now carries. They are like thin veils that cover you, causing you, despite your prayers and efforts, to feel halted right at the threshold of something new. But I tell you this, I have come to break every chain. No curse can stand against my name. No darkness can hold captive a soul redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. The enemy knows your true worth. It knows you are destined to be a bearer of light, one who is sent to build, to restore, and to bring my glory into the world. And because of that, it will relentlessly attempt to keep you trapped in stagnation. It seeks to wear you down, confuse you, and fill you with discouragement. It whispers that all your efforts are in vain, that the dreams within you are illusions. It murmurs, "It's too late, you cannot change, you will always be stuck here." But my child, do not believe those lies. When you find yourself surrounded by unexplainable resistance, constant setbacks, closed doors, losses that seem to come without cause, understand that it is not random. The enemy trembles because it senses the moment when you awaken to your true power in me. For the very instant you rise and say, "Enough," the moment you choose to believe in me more than in fear, its schemes will collapse. Its strength does not lie in power, but in deception. It can only control you as long as you believe what it says. Remember this: every chain can be broken. None is stronger than my love and power. Even generational curses cannot surpass the flow of the Lamb's blood, blood that was shed to destroy every covenant of darkness. When you dare to confront, to confess, and to renounce what does not belong to you, I will step in and do the rest. I will reach into the deepest layers of your soul, those you have never touched, to heal, to free, and to renew. Pause, my child, and ask yourself, what truly holds you back? Is it the fear of rejection, the belief that you are unworthy of forgiveness, or the self-doubt nurtured by your past? Bring it all to me. Do not hide, do not withhold, for I do not condemn, I deliver. When you lay your burdens before me, you will see every chain fall one by one. Understand this: the enemy cannot steal your soul, but it can keep you so distracted that you forget your purpose. It wants you entangled in worry and disappointment, in fear, so that you no longer see the door I have already opened before you. But I am calling you out of that maze. I want you to discern what comes from me and what does not. Listen closely to the voice within, for my spirit brings peace, while darkness brings confusion. You will see that when you begin to pray earnestly, when you declare my words over your life, the atmosphere will shift. Darkness will retreat. The enemy will tremble, for it knows that a child of light has awakened. Every prayer you utter, every praise you lift, every tear you shed in faith, all are weapons. I do not ask you to fight alone. I only ask you to stand firm. When you stand upon my promises, every chain must break. You are created for freedom. Freedom from sin, from fear, from accusation, and from the past. You are destined to live in abundance, in light, and in the blessing I have prepared. So do not accept bondage as a natural part of life. Do not say, "This is my fate." For I, the one who chose you, who placed my hand upon you, never destined you for captivity. I destined you to soar, to bloom, and to flourish in my grace. My child, awaken. Do not let the shadows deceive you. Everything that hinders you, whether fear or memory, can be broken when you step into truth. And the truth is this: you are already free. When you believe it, when you declare it, every locked door must open. Heaven stands on your side, and I, your Lord, will fight for you. My beloved, a new beginning is unfolding before your eyes, not by coincidence nor by your own will, but as part of the divine design I ordained long ago. Everything is shifting, not because you decided to change, but because heaven has chosen this moment to fulfill a portion of my eternal plan for you. You are not merely leaving a place behind. You are stepping into a prophetic season where every breath, every step, and every decision bears my imprint. This new beginning, my child, is not ordinary. It has been set apart by me, wrapped in promise, and illuminated by the light from my throne. You are not walking into a barren land, but into a place I have already prepared, an environment carefully arranged to nurture the seed of destiny within you. For what I have planted in you cannot grow amid desolation. I am moving you to a ground where light, water, and spiritual nourishment will cause you to bloom and bear fruit in its appointed time. How many times, my child, have you prayed for a new beginning, for true peace, for stability in your work, for a home covered in love, for a season where your spirit finds rest and your faith is renewed? You have cried in the night and pleaded for it. You have looked around and asked, "Lord, how much longer?" And it seemed nothing changed. But today I tell you not a single prayer has fallen into emptiness. Every word you whispered, every tear that touched the ground has been collected in my bottle. None of them were forgotten. They have been germinating in the unseen realm. I have waited for this moment, the perfect time to activate what I promised. For if I had opened the doors too soon when your foundation was not yet firm, the very blessing meant to lift you could have crushed you. But now you have matured. You have grown deeper, learning to seek me not only for what I give, but for who I am. That is why you are ready to step into your new season. Understand this. My child, the years of waiting were never a delay, they were preparation. Every promise has an appointed time of birth, and I never forget my word. When the time comes, no force in the universe can hinder it. Just as a flower blooms only when the sun reaches its height, and a bird takes flight only when its wings are strong enough, so it is with you. Every trial you endured, every failure that seemed meaningless, was a necessary piece shaping you for this very phase. I, the Lord your God, never lead you into anything ordinary. You are chosen, woven from divine intention. I did not design you to blend into the crowd, but to shine in the midst of darkness. Therefore, I am preparing a unique environment where everything around you will align with the purpose I placed within you. The people you meet, the doors that open, even the unexpected circumstances, that all are being orchestrated to trigger the spiritual breakthrough I appointed long ago. I know you have grown weary while waiting. There were nights when you cried, "Lord, what have I done wrong? Why does nothing move forward?" But my child, know this. My silence never means absence. When you think I am doing nothing, I am doing everything. While you wait, I am clearing the path. When you feel forgotten, I am rewriting your story, not with tears, but with grace. You once prayed for stability, but I am giving you endurance. You asked for peace, but I am giving you true rest. You asked for financial blessing, but I am giving you spiritual abundance, the kind that draws every other blessing in its wake. For I do not merely answer what you request. I delight in giving you more than you could ask or imagine. A new beginning is not merely coming, it has already begun. And this time you will not just walk in hope. You will live in the fulfillment of promise. For I, the Lord your God, am the one who never fails to keep my word. Thank you for listening to this message. Know this, you are not just a listener, you are chosen to live in the presence of God's word each day. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a divine message again. Amen.